People often believe that success arrives through one giant moment. They think life changes only when something dramatic happens, when they become rich overnight, when they receive a big opportunity, or when the world finally notices them. But real transformation rarely works that way. The truth is, the biggest changes in life usually begin with the smallest habits. Tiny actions, repeated every single day, slowly shape our mindset, our confidence, our discipline, and eventually our future. Small habits may seem invisible in the beginning, but over time, they create results so powerful that they can completely transform a person's life. A single habit may not look important today. Waking up 30 minutes earlier may not seem life-changing. Reading 10 pages of a book may feel too small to matter. Drinking more water, exercising for 15 minutes, writing down goals, or spending a few minutes in silence can appear insignificant. But what most people fail to understand is that success is not built in one day. It is built daily. Every small action becomes a brick, and eventually those bricks build a strong foundation for a better life. The reason small habits are so powerful is because they are easy to repeat. Big goals often feel overwhelming. People get excited for a few days, then lose motivation because the process feels too difficult. But small habits remove fear and pressure. They allow progress to happen naturally. When a person starts improving little by little, their confidence grows. That confidence leads to consistency, and consistency leads to transformation. Think about a seed planted in the ground. On the first day, nothing seems different. After a week, it still appears small and weak, but beneath the surface, roots are growing silently. With enough time, water, and patience, that tiny seed becomes a massive tree. Human habits work the same way. The results may not appear immediately, but every positive action strengthens the roots of discipline, patience, and self-belief. Small habits also change the way a person sees themselves. Every time someone keeps a promise to themselves, they build self-respect. If a person decides to exercise every morning and follows through, even for 10 minutes, they begin proving to themselves that they are capable of discipline. If they decide to stop complaining, stop wasting time, or start learning new skills, they slowly become a different person. Identity changes through repeated action. A confident person is not born confident. They become confident through habits that strengthen their mind over time. Another powerful truth is that small habits protect people from destruction, just as positive habits build a successful life. Negative habits slowly destroy it. 1 hour of daily laziness may not seem dangerous, but repeated for years, it steals opportunities and potential. Negative thinking, procrastination, unhealthy routines, and constant distractions slowly weaken the mind. In the same way, positive habits slowly strengthen it. Life is often shaped by what people repeatedly do, not by what they occasionally achieve. The beauty of small habits is that anyone can begin. You do not need money, fame, or perfect circumstances to improve your life. You only need the willingness to start. A person can begin today by reading a few pages, waking up earlier, speaking more positively, practicing gratitude, or spending less time on distractions. These actions may appear small, but repeated every day, they create momentum. And momentum is powerful. Once a person begins moving forward consistently, growth becomes unstoppable. Massive transformation is never truly sudden. What looks like an overnight success is usually the result of countless small habits repeated in silence. Behind every successful person are routines nobody applauded, sacrifices nobody noticed, and daily actions repeated even when motivation disappeared. Small habits are powerful because they shape the future quietly, step by step, until one day the results become impossible to ignore. In the end, life changes when daily behavior changes. The smallest habits often carry the greatest power because they decide who we become over time. A better future is not created by giant promises. It is created by small actions repeated with discipline, patience, and belief. That is how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. Many people spend their lives waiting for motivation. They wait to feel inspired before they begin working on their dreams. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect energy, or the perfect moment to take action. But the truth is, motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel excited and powerful, and other days you feel tired, distracted, and uncertain. If success depended only on motivation, very few people would ever achieve anything meaningful. This is why discipline matters far more than motivation. Discipline is the force that keeps a person moving forward even when emotions disappear. Motivation feels good in the beginning. It gives people excitement and energy. After watching an inspiring video or hearing powerful advice, people often feel ready to change their entire life overnight. They make big plans, set huge goals, and promise themselves that this time will be different. But after a few days, reality appears. The excitement fades. The work becomes difficult. Distractions return. And without discipline, most people quit long before they see results. Discipline is different because it does not rely on feelings. Discipline is the decision to continue even when you do not feel like continuing. It is waking up early when the bed feels comfortable. It is working on your goals when nobody is watching. It is staying focused when distractions are everywhere. Discipline means choosing long-term growth over temporary comfort. The most successful people in the world are not successful because they always feel motivated. They are successful because they learned how to stay committed regardless of their emotions. They understand that feelings change every day, but responsibility remains the same. A disciplined person does not ask, "Do I feel motivated today?" Instead, they ask, "What must be done today?" That mindset changes everything. One of the greatest dangers of depending on motivation is inconsistency. Motivation creates emotional action. Discipline creates daily action, and daily action is what produces real results. A person who exercises only when motivated will rarely stay healthy. A student who studies only when inspired will struggle to succeed. A person who works on their dreams only during moments of excitement will never reach their full potential. Success belongs to those who continue showing up even during difficult days. Discipline also builds mental strength. Every time a person does something difficult without making excuses, they become stronger internally. They learn how to control their mind instead of being controlled by emotions. This creates confidence and self-respect. People begin trusting themselves because they know they can follow through even when life becomes hard. There are days when motivation completely disappears. Everyone experiences moments of doubt, exhaustion, fear, and frustration. During those moments, discipline becomes the bridge between goals and achievement. It keeps people moving forward when progress feels slow. It reminds them that results are created through consistency, not temporary emotion. Another important truth is that discipline creates freedom. At first, discipline may feel restrictive because it requires sacrifice and effort. But over time, it leads to independence, success, peace, and confidence. A disciplined person gains control over their time, health, finances, and future. Meanwhile, people who avoid discipline often become controlled by bad habits, laziness, stress, and regret. Temporary comfort may feel good in the moment, but it often creates long-term pain. Discipline may feel difficult today, but it creates a better tomorrow. Small disciplined actions also create powerful momentum. When a person consistently keeps promises to themselves, they slowly become unstoppable. Waking up on time, finishing tasks, exercising regularly, avoiding distractions, and staying committed to goals may seem simple, but these habits shape character. Over time, discipline becomes part of identity. A person no longer needs constant motivation because consistent action becomes natural. Life will never always be easy. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, disappointments, and moments when giving up feels easier than continuing. Motivation cannot survive every storm, but discipline can. Discipline remains steady when emotions become unstable. It pushes people forward when comfort tries to hold them back. In the end, the difference between people who succeed and people who quit is often not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is discipline. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. Real growth happens when a person learns to work hard without needing applause, excitement, or perfect conditions. That is the power of discipline. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, one consistent action at a time. The way a person thinks has the power to shape the direction of their entire life. Every action, decision, habit, and response begins in the mind first. This is why mindset is one of the most powerful forces in the world. A person's reality is often created by the thoughts they repeatedly believe. If someone constantly believes they are weak, unlucky, or incapable, they begin acting in ways that support those beliefs. But when someone believes they can grow, improve, and overcome challenges, they start creating a completely different life. The mind becomes the foundation of everything. Two people can face the exact same situation and experience completely different outcomes because of their mindset. One person sees failure and decides to quit. The other sees failure as a lesson and continues moving forward. One person sees obstacles as proof that life is unfair. Another person sees obstacles as opportunities to become stronger. The circumstances may be the same, but the mindset changes the result. Many people underestimate the power of their thoughts. They believe thinking positively is not important, but thoughts influence emotions, emotions influence actions, and actions create reality. A person who constantly thinks negatively often becomes trapped in fear, doubt, stress, and hesitation. They begin expecting failure before even trying. Eventually, they stop taking risks, stop believing in themselves, and stop chasing opportunities. Their mindset slowly limits their potential. On the other hand, a strong mindset creates confidence and resilience. It allows people to continue even when life becomes difficult. A positive mindset does not mean pretending problems do not exist. It means believing that challenges can be faced and overcome. It means refusing to let fear control your future. Strong-minded people understand that pain, failure, and struggle are temporary, but growth is permanent. The words people repeat to themselves every day are extremely powerful. When someone constantly says, I can't do this, their brain begins accepting it as truth. But when someone says, I will learn, improve, and find a way, their mind starts searching for solutions instead of excuses. The human mind follows direction. Whatever thoughts are repeated consistently begin shaping behavior and belief. Mindset also affects how people view themselves. Many individuals spend years trapped by limiting beliefs created from past failures, criticisms, or rejection. They begin defining themselves by their mistakes instead of their potential. But a growth mindset changes everything. It teaches people that abilities can improve through effort, learning, and persistence. It reminds them that failure is not the end of the journey. A failure is part of the process. A person with the right mindset understands that success is not immediate. They stay patient during slow progress because they trust the process. They understand that every challenge carries a lesson and every setback carries an opportunity for growth. Instead of complaining about difficulties, they focus on solutions. Instead of blaming others, they take responsibility for their actions and choices. The environment people surround themselves with also affects mindset. Negative environments fill the mind with fear, comparison, doubt, and negativity. Positive environments encourage growth, confidence, and hope. This is why protecting the mind is so important. What people listen to, watch, read, and believe every day slowly shapes their reality. A healthy mindset must be fed with positive influences, powerful ideas, and meaningful goals. Mindset even changes the way people experience life itself. Grateful people notice blessings where others notice problems. Optimistic people see possibilities where others see limitations. Focused people find opportunities while distracted people remain stuck. Reality is often filtered through perception. The same world can appear full of hope to one person and full of negativity to another. Depending on how they choose to think, one of the greatest truths in life is that transformation begins internally before it appears externally. Before a person changes their life, they must first change the way they think. Confidence starts in the mind. Discipline starts in the mind. Success starts in the mind. Every achievement is first created through belief before it becomes reality. Life will always contain challenges, uncertainty, and moments of pain, but mindset determines whether those moments destroy a person or develop them. A weak mindset sees struggle as defeat. A strong mindset sees struggle as preparation. That difference changes everything. In the end, people become what they consistently think about. Thoughts shape actions, actions shape habits, and habits shape destiny. A powerful mindset does not guarantee an easy life, but it creates the strength needed to face life with courage, determination, and hope. When a person changes their mindset, they begin changing their reality. And once the mind changes, the future begins to change with it. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because they focus too much on immediate results. They want success to happen quickly. They expect massive transformation after one day of effort, and when they do not see instant progress, they lose motivation and quit. But real change does not happen in a single dramatic moment. It happens through repeated action. Even 7 days of true consistency can begin changing the direction of a person's life. 1 week may seem small, but a focused and disciplined week can create momentum strong enough to transform habits, mindset, confidence, and future decisions. The reason consistency is so powerful is because it breaks old patterns. Many people spend years trapped in routines that keep them stuck. They wake up without purpose, waste time on distractions, avoid responsibility, and repeat the same unhealthy habits every day. Over time, those repeated actions shape their reality. But when a person decides to stay consistent, even for 1 week, they interrupt that cycle. They begin proving to themselves that change is possible. Imagine waking up early for 7 straight days. On the first day, it feels difficult and uncomfortable. On the second day, the body resists again. But by the end of the week, the mind starts adapting to the new behavior. A person begins feeling more focused, more organized, and more in control. The same principle applies to every area of life. Reading daily for 7 days improves knowledge. Exercising daily improves energy. Speaking positively improves mindset. Avoiding distractions improves focus. Small actions repeated consistently begin creating noticeable internal change. Consistency also builds self-trust. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with confidence is because they constantly break promises to themselves. They say they will change, but they never follow through. After a while, they stop believing in their own words. But when someone remains consistent for 7 days, something important happens internally. They begin trusting themselves again. Every completed action becomes proof that they are capable of discipline and growth. 7 days of consistency can also create clarity. Many people feel lost because their lives are filled with noise and distraction. They spend too much time overthinking instead of taking action. But consistent effort creates focus. When a person follows a healthy routine for 1 week, their mind becomes calmer and stronger. They begin understanding what truly matters. Their priorities become clearer. Their energy changes. Even their attitude toward life begins improving. Another powerful truth is that consistency creates momentum. Starting is often the hardest part of any journey. The first day requires the most effort because the mind is used to comfort and old habits. But every day of repeated action makes the next step easier. Momentum begins building slowly. By the seventh day, a person often feels stronger than they did on the first day, not because life became easier, but because discipline became stronger. Many successful people did not change their lives overnight. They simply stayed consistent long enough for small improvements to grow into massive results. 1 week of discipline may not make someone perfect, but it can completely change their direction, and direction is powerful. A plane leaving an airport changes its destination by moving only a few degrees differently. In the same way, small consistent actions can slowly lead a person toward a completely different future. Consistency also teaches patience. In a world obsessed with quick success, many people give up too early. They expect visible rewards immediately. But life rewards those who continue showing up even when results are invisible. The first 7 days may not bring huge external success, but they create something even more valuable internally. They build resilience, self-respect, and mental strength. A person who stays consistent for 1 week begins realizing that excuses are often the biggest obstacle. They discover they are capable of more than they believed. They realize growth is not about perfection. It is about persistence. Missing one perfect moment does not matter as much as continuing to move forward every day. Consistency changes identity. When a person repeatedly takes positive action, they stop seeing themselves as lazy, weak, or incapable. They begin seeing themselves as disciplined, focused, and determined. That internal shift is life-changing because identity influences behavior. Once people believe they are capable of growth, they begin acting differently in every area of life. In the end, 7 days may seem short, but it can become the beginning of a completely new future. 1 week consistency can awaken confidence, create momentum, strengthen discipline, and inspire lasting change. The biggest transformations in life often begin with small, repeated actions. A person does not need to change everything overnight. They only need to stay consistent long enough for progress to begin changing their direction. And sometimes changing direction is the first step toward changing an entire life. In the end, life does not change because of one lucky moment, one motivational speech, or one big opportunity. Life changes because of the small decisions we make every single day. Small habits create massive transformation because repeated actions shape who we become. Discipline matters more than motivation because motivation fades, but discipline keeps us moving forward even when things become difficult. Our mindset shapes our reality because the way we think determines the way we live, act, and respond to challenges. And consistency, even for just 7 days, can completely change the direction of our future. The truth is, every person has the power to improve their life starting today, not next year, not someday. Today, change begins the moment a person decides to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for their habits, thoughts, and actions. Success is not reserved for a special few. It is built by ordinary people who choose consistency over comfort, growth over fear, and discipline over excuses. There will always be challenges, setbacks, distractions, and moments of doubt. But every difficult moment is also an opportunity to grow stronger. The people who succeed are not always the most talented or the luckiest. They are often the ones who refuse to quit. They continue showing up even when progress feels slow. They trust the process even when results are invisible. A better future is created through small daily improvements. One positive thought, one disciplined action, one healthy habit, one focused day repeated again and again. Over time, those small choices become life-changing results. Never underestimate the power of starting small. A single week of consistency can awaken confidence. A single habit can transform a mindset. A single decision can lead to a completely different future. Everything changes when a person begins believing in their ability to grow. Your future is not decided by your past mistakes, your current struggles, or your temporary failures. Your future is decided by what you choose to do from this moment forward. Every sunrise gives another opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and better than before. So start now, stay disciplined, protect your mindset, remain consistent, trust your growth. And remember, the life you dream about is built one habit, one thought, and one day at a time. Thank you.